Welcome back to your Hofstra Vibes Family Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Helmendaler. I'm a first-year master's student in Hofstra's Forensic Linguistics program, and I'm also the grad assistant in the Office of Intercultural Engagement and Inclusion. As we're moving into the summer months, we're entering a transitional period for a lot of people. Students and their families are preparing for their first taste of college, which can be really nerve-wracking for everyone involved. So today I'm really excited to talk a little bit about what Parent and Family Programs is up to. So I'm excited to be joined by Mr. Hansen Lee, the Vice President of Hofstra University's Parent and Family Council. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. And we're also joined by Branka Kristic, the Assistant Dean of Students and also Director of Parent and Family Programs. How are you today, Branka?
Hi, Jenny.
All right, so today we're just going to talk a little bit about how families of Hofstra students can stay involved in our Hofstra community while their kids are away at college. So, Mr. Lee, congratulations on just being elected Vice President of Parent and Family Council. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved?
My background's in finance and operations. I do that professionally. I also sit on the school board, first Asian American to be elected to that. What was amazing was that it really opened my eyes to creating diversity, equity, inclusion programs within the school. And during the selection process of colleges, Omar being my last child, we selected colleges based on that format, making sure that they feel included. Lindsay, who is his admissions counselor, made him feel really at home. She answered his emails not through a form email, but actually writing down that she read his essay, she pointed certain things out, and we were really impressed by that. And then I met Branka. Then we realized that this is really the place that we needed to be in. Branka offers that personalized touch. I have two older kids. They both went to different colleges. They also had parent councils, but it were basically superficial. You know, they provided information. There was really no interaction. My first day at orientation, when I met Branka and I was listening to some parents speak about their first experience as having their children in the school, I was compelled to speak because I had that experience. And knowing Branka was there really made me want to be a part of this organization. And when I met members of the Parent and Family Council, they were very open. Actually, it's like a family. It's like friends. I've never been a part of an organization at that level where you have that camaraderie. That what they basically do is they want to make everyone feel welcome, whether you're far away or close by.
Mm-hmm. And Branka, could you tell me a little bit about how Parent and Family Council fits in under your program?
Parent and Family Council is the heart of our program. So this is the advisory committee of parent volunteers. Their main mission is to improve communication between Hofstra University and parents, both ways, right? Parents to administration, administration to parents. Those parent volunteers share their talent and time. They can choose which committees and projects to join. The parents drive the content of their initiatives, right? So I'm there just to moderate. I'm there to facilitate their wishes. My experience in 10 plus years of working with Parent and Family Council is that parents want the best for Hofstra University as a school, for all students. They understand that a parent council is really working not just for their own children, although they are, but how do they make Hofstra University rank better, how to make sure that the degree their children will receive rises in values. And they're amazing that they're able to see that big picture. I've been just blessed and honored to work with our Hofstra parents.
And the council is totally self-sustaining. I mean, you are vice president, and then you also have an entire kind of cabinet of other positions, right?
Correct.
As vice president, what do your responsibilities comprise?
I mean, officially, the vice president is there to help oversee the nomination and selection process for new members. In my role as an officer, I actively contribute to council meetings where we regularly welcome guest speakers who provide valuable insights and resources. Mm-hmm. And I also step in when, the president's not there. That's officially. Mm-hmm. But unofficially, we operate in one unit, so there's no hierarchy in that system. One parent volunteer has no level of superiority over another one, and we all work together despite the roles that we have there. Mm-hmm. It's totally ambiguous on how we operate, but the structure is there. in order to maintain some formal structure.
And off the top of your head, do you know about how many parents are on the council in total?
So we have about 40 active members, but I have hundreds on the list, right? So we really allow parents to be involved as little or as much as they wish, right? What their time allows, what they can dedicate, to Hofstra University. We accept all and every level of involvement. To piggyback on what Mr. Lee talked about, Mr. Lee for years baked cookies for the incoming freshmen. No task that we asked him to do was too little for him. He came and volunteered at our on-campus events. Even before he was nominated to be a vice president, he just gave of himself. And this is the true example of a parent volunteer at Hofstra.
And so you talked about baking cookies. Is that part of a specific event or just generally for first years?
No, it's actually, there's a move-in day for students. We want to make the parents and the students feel welcome. So in order to do that, parents all split up. We man a table in the student center. I'm baking cookies, and we want to make sure that we're not just recruiting parents, but making sure that they realize that there's a resource here to help them. A lot of parents here are local, and I'm one of the local parents, so if there's any concerns, let's say there's a parent that lives in California. Actually, one parent actually reached out to me and said, my son is not feeling well, and he can't leave his dorm. How do I get, soup and a blanket to him? So there was a Facebook post. It's managed by Susan Hellick, who's amazing, by the way, and she's a former president. I said, Susan, I'm going to go. I went to BJ's, got a case of Gatorade, got him a blanket, and delivered it to him. That's what we do. We want to make sure that all kids feel welcome, all parents feel welcome, and that becomes contagious. When that happens, other people realize that, hey, I want to be able to do something, and I want to be able to do something. So as a collective, we're operating at an unselfish level so that all students can thrive, not just my student, but every student that can thrive in this space.
Right. That's the mission not only of the council, but of each individual, because that's why they're there. They're all parents. So
Right.
You all are there to support everyone. You were talking about those different events, and Parent and Family Council is not just an advisory body. Like, you also host events. Is that right? I know, Branka, you were at a couple of the events that we've been at in the past year or so.
Yes. So the major event that our parent council is involved in is a family weekend. They're really the ones who make it happen. They create prizes, so we raffle off door prizes. We make sure to welcome, because usually in the during family weekend we welcome new families, new incoming freshman families. We make sure to interact with them. Parent volunteers answer questions, get to know each other. We have a social. So the point of on-campus event is really to connect our families to campus, to our Hofstra campus life. But we also have webinars, and I know Mr. Lee has participated in many of them, to connect our families to figure out why they should join Parent and Family Council and how they can be involved. But also, Mr. Lee mentioned guest speakers. We always bring faculty and staff from Hofstra to speak to our parents and to answer questions. So every meeting that Parent and Family Council has, there's always a guest speaker, and usually Parent and Family Council board chooses that guest speaker. Depending on a time of the academic year, what is hot topic, we make sure to inform our families well.
And another initiative that I was really excited to hear about when I came here was the Thanksgiving homestay program. So then students staying in the area over Thanksgiving break can get connected to local host families. And Mr. Lee, I heard that you and your family chose to be hosts this year. How was that?
It was an amazing experience. I decided to sign up, and Branka assigned me, or somebody assigned me one student. And I said, this is great. We started communicating with him. Branka came to me a couple of days later and says, we have another student that needs a host family. I said, this is great. What country are they from? Because there's about 4 or 5 languages spoken at the home. So number 2 came, and then number 3, and then finally we ended up with 5.
Your family's growing.
5 people. It was the most amazing experience, and we invited guests who spoke Hindi. My wife speaks Arabic, I speak Chinese, and it was just an amazing experience to have them, because they're so far away from home. They're actually not even in the continental U.S. But to this day, some of them are graduated, some are working, and I still keep in touch with all of them. It was probably the most amazing experience I had.
And have you done it consecutive years?
Unfortunately, the first year I didn't know about it. The last year, my wife was on call that year, and we were out of state. But this year, I intend on taking maybe, I don't know, you can give me a dozen if you want, Bronco. And Ginny, you're actually welcome too if you want to come.
Thank you. I'll be there. And so you mentioned your son Omar. How has his Hofstra journey? How has his experience been?
So we're local, but we decided that he should stay on campus to get involved in the activities and, give him a sense of independence. And I think when parents let go, one of the biggest things that cause anxiety is parents letting go. And we're relatively close. I can just jump in a car and get here. But a parent living on the West Coast becomes a little more challenging. I decided that he should stay on campus, and he decided that he should too. In the first year, he was just trying to get his feet wet. He joined some organizations basically revolving around equity, diversity, and social justice. And he found his niche. He told me, a lot of kids like to join a lot of clubs, and he goes, I want to join a few clubs and pour my heart into that. Mm-hmm. And he was able to make a few connections, not a lot. He's still a very shy kid. Having him grow and expand was really important. He's completed his junior year. One of his professors reached out to him and wanted him to continue his research assistant assignment until senior year. So he was actually quite enthusiastic about that. As he continues to evolve and grow, I want to make sure that he can function independently.
Because that's something that I'm sure that a lot of prospective parents for the council, that's like a thought that goes through their head. Like, I want to be there for my kid. I want to support them through their college experience. However, it is their first taste of college, and I also want them to have their own independence. So is that something that you sort of balance within your mind, and how do you get that balance?
Remember, this is my last child, right? So the first child is like, you hover around and you say, make sure he's okay. The second child, no big deal, she's going to survive. And then the last one says, okay, kid, you're on your own. We've been through that experience. We've seen it. Sometimes I think letting go is probably the best for that individual to be able to survive. I remember the first time he attempted laundry, he had a problem with the machines. And so he calls me up and says, Dad, I'm coming home. I want to have dinner with you guys. No, he didn't. He wanted to do laundry at home. So, he will adapt and he will continue to thrive and grow. And I think all kids have that option as well. And I think him making some friends on campus has been a good experience for him. I know Bronco, there was an individual that same situation as Omar.
Yes.
And
another family, I'll explain this because Mr. Lee was amazing, and Omar too. So because I knew Omar's journey, I thought that this student would really benefit from interacting with Omar because he was also shy. He didn't have friends on campus, felt isolated. Omar took him to the gaming club, right? Is it esports?
Yeah, the esports club.
Esports club. It's much easier to be with a group, with a club organization if somebody invites you, when somebody brings you along. And this is how the other student also made connections on campus. So I'm very grateful to Mr. Lee and Omar.
Yeah, and now actually that individual goes to that esports club more often than Omar does because he's found some other interests.
He found his niche.
Yeah, he found his niche.
Yeah. And so, Bronca, this is sort of a separate question, but when you're interacting with parents at fairs or in the council, can you sort of tell which kid they're on or like which order child is going to the school?
That's a good question. I can. Every family, every student, every parent is different. But I know one thing. Every parent wants the best for their kid. What they are really looking for is, will my child be supported? Everybody wants their kid to be independent, right? We want them to grow up, right? But do they have the right environment, right people next to them? I just want to invite all families, current, new, future families, contact us. We in Parent and Family Programs would love to connect with you and figure out who is that person who will help your student at a certain point of academic year when they stumble, right? Everybody stumbles at a certain point, right? How do we catch them? And when do we catch them? Matters. Truly matters. So I would ask every family, do not hesitate to call me. Many times parents call me, especially in September, new families, I don't want to be helicopter parent. I don't know if I should be even calling. I said, yes, you should be calling. There is no, FERPA in this world that would prevent you to talk to me. Truly, because even without FERPA, I can tell you the resources. I can figure out what your student needs. So, call us, be with us, join us in our projects. The Parent and Family Council is amazing. They devote so much time and talent. I encourage you to join them.
And hearing all this, is there a moment during your time with Hofstra so far that's really made you feel part of that family?
for me was my meeting with Branka. That's when I felt so connected, because when you talk to Branka, it's like talking to a friend. And she truly cares about students. Listen, I've been on family councils at George Washington University and at University of Maryland. My kids were athletes there, and they had a tight group of parents as well. The relationships there were superficial at best. Here at this family council, they're friends. I mean, we get together and, we have outings and we try to figure out how to help other kids. My wife, so she's a neurosurgery PA, and there's a PA school here. So I talked about that, and my wife is actually having some PA students from Hofstra shadow her so they can go to the next level, right? Those are the things that are important. Actually, my wife is an alumni here too, so she's actually quite happy to do that. Those are the connections that we make in the parent-family council. You never know who you're going to meet, and when you have those discussions, hopefully one of us will have that level of expertise or knowledge that can help a child network and become successful in their own right.
I would like to add that I'm here now 19 years at Hofstra, and I'll tell you, I stayed because this is the family for me. My professional family, and also I made so many good connections with families and students. I cannot tell you how beautiful it is when I meet a student during orientation. And please, new families, come to orientation. Don't think that you've seen everything but Hofstra. Please come, connect with us, ask us questions. When I see students during orientation and I see them shy and barely looking up from their phone, and then I see them at commencement, accomplished, engaged, excellent students, adults, really truly adults now. I'm proud as a mama. I'm a proud Hofstra mama. I love seeing that growth in our young adults. This is what keeps me at Hofstra. It's a perfectly sized university. We truly try to create small communities within the large university. So our students have opportunities academically and socially, but also to have that support and belong to a family. Parent and Family Council is part of this. Parent and Family Council enables our families to be part of that experience.
And if someone's been listening along to this podcast and they're like, oh my gosh, this sounds like the greatest thing ever, Branka told me to call, how would they do that? How do they get involved?
Thank you for asking. You see, this is exactly important. You're absolutely right. Please email. It's very easy to remember. parents@hofstra.edu. Call us at 516-463-4698. I'm part of the Dean of Students team. We are here to figure out at any point while your student is here how to support and engage your student. So welcome. Please call us. We love your calls.
So, Ginny, additionally, Parent Family Council has a Facebook page. It's actually grown. It's managed by Susan Hellig, and she's just amazing. Provides a resource for parents. Parents can ask questions. We filter those questions, and we connect them with the proper resources. Parents can go out there and kind of vent some of their frustrations. We try to help alleviate those frustrations. Students reach out to us as well, say, I need to do this or I need to do that. Somebody will chime in and say, hey, this question's been asked already, or let me see if I can connect with you and try to help you. That's another resource, and using the social media format.
And the last thing I want to ask, because Mr. Lee, you said you have 3, Branka, you said you have 4, right? So for new parents who might be feeling some anxiety about sending their kid off to college for the very first time, what is your advice?
Like I said before, the first one, when he went away, we didn't want to leave. He's trying to kick us out the dorm. My last child says, you can move yourself in, right? Go ahead, you can move it. No, Dad, I need you to help. And there's no emotional attachment, but we know that he's going to succeed because we've done it before. We know that this is going to happen. We know we raised him right, and we know that he found a place where he feels that he belongs. And that's the most important thing. When choosing a university, you have to make sure that your child will be successful there. You don't want them to go to a university where the level of success or the level of expectations are not going to be there for that individual. This was the right fit for him. He's in the School of Communications. He absolutely loves it. And we let him, carve out his niche and figure out what he really wants to do. The anxiety is always going to be there. My advice to parents is kind of like let go, but have a safety net under them. Let them fly, but always have that net to catch them in case they fall.
And certainly we do have that net, dear parents. If I can give you an advice, would be listen, and then listen some more. They will call you for sure, and most of the time they call when they're in distress, when they have some concern, when they are not very happy, and then they vent to you. And this is all good because you are a safe haven, you're a safe harbor for them. That's awesome. Just listen some more. And then if you're not sure what to do next, call us. We'll figure out what the next step should be. Where is the right person on campus who can help your student? You, as a parent of a college student, still have a role in your young adult's life. It'll change. You're going to hear less about their daily life, yes, but your role will be crucial in their success. So listen and listen some more.
Branka, Mr. Lee, thank you so much for being here today. This has been a really great conversation. And if you are a new parent entering into this new chapter, congratulations. I'm sure it's going to be a really wonderful experience. I'm Jenny Helmendaller, and this has been your Hofstra Vibes Family Podcast.